Step into a world of captivating tales on our YouTube channel. Immerse yourself in enchanting stories, gripping adventures, and heartfelt emotions. Get ready to be transported to extraordinary realms where imagination knows no bounds. Deep within the heart of an ancient forest, where the trees stood tall and shrouded in a cloak of darkness, lived a young girl named Emily. She was a curious soul with an insatiable appetite for adventure. One gloomy afternoon, as the sun's fading rays struggled to penetrate the dense canopy above, Emily ventured deeper into the woods than she had ever gone before. The path she followed grew narrower, the underbrush thicker, and the atmosphere grew heavy with an eerie silence. The whispering winds transformed into hushed murmurs that sent a chill down Emily's spine. But she pressed on, her heart pounding in her chest, until she stumbled upon a weathered signpost. It pointed to a long-forgotten path and bore the inscription, "The Path of Lost Tales." Emily's curiosity got the best of her, and she decided to follow this mysterious path. As she walked, the trees seemed to close in around her, their branches like gnarled fingers reaching out to touch her. The darkness became suffocating, but Emily held tight to her courage and moved forward. In the distance, she spotted a glimmer of light. It flickered and danced, beckoning her towards it. With a mix of trepidation and excitement, Emily quickened her pace until she emerged into a small clearing. There, in the center, stood an old, dilapidated cabin, its wooden frame barely holding together. Against her better judgment, Emily stepped inside. The interior was musty and dimly lit, with cobwebs stretching across the corners. As her eyes adjusted to the gloom, they fell upon a dusty bookshelf, filled with weathered tomes. One particular book caught her attention, a tattered volume bound in worn leather. Curiosity piqued. Emily picked up the book and blew away the dust that covered its pages. It was a collection of eerie tales, its words whispered of long-forgotten legends and the shadows that lurked in the forest. Unfazed by the warning signs, Emily found herself compelled to read one of the stories aloud. With trembling hands, she opened the book and began to read a tale about a vengeful spirit that haunted these very woods. As she read, a chill settled in the air, and the cabin seemed to groan with displeasure. Emily's voice quivered, but she couldn't stop herself from uttering the words written on the page. Suddenly, the cabin came alive. The walls creaked and groaned, and the shadows seemed to writhe and twist, taking on sinister shapes. Emily tried to close the book, but her hands were frozen in place. The words spilled from her lips like a curse, and the spirit from the story materialized before her. The specter was a ghastly figure, draped in tattered garments and emanating an otherworldly aura. Its eyes, void of light, fixed upon Emily with an insatiable hunger. The girl's heart raced, her breath caught in her throat, as the spirit moved closer, its cold touch seeping into her very soul. But just as fear threatened to consume her, a voice rang out, a soft, ethereal voice that seemed to carry on the wind. It was the voice of a young girl, trapped and forgotten, begging for release. Emily realized that the spirit was not the villain of the story, but a victim of the forest's curse. Summoning her courage, Emily mustered all her strength and began to recite a chant, a spell to break the curse that bound the spirit. With each word, the cabin trembled, and the spirit's anguished moans grew louder. As she finished the incantation, a blinding light erupted from the book, engulfing both Emily and the spirit. When the light faded, the cabin stood empty, and the book lay closed on the floor. Emily found herself back on the forest path, the oppressive darkness lifted. The trees whispered softly, as if in gratitude, and a sense of peace settled upon the once foreboding woods. Emily had learned a valuable lesson about the power of words and the consequences of meddling with forces beyond one's understanding. And as she made her way home, she vowed never to enter those enchanted woods again, lest she unleash more than she bargained for.